wildly important goal, lag measures for everybody, daily, weekly lead measures, things that they're doing to go towards those, and then check in and track. Hey, I'm Spencer Powell and welcome back to Builder Funnel TV, where remodelers and custom builders come for business growth strategies. And before we get into today's video, if you're not part of Remodeler Community, head on over to remodelercommunity.com and check it out. All right, so today we're going to talk about goal setting. And this is something that hopefully a lot of you do either at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year as you're starting to think about what you want to accomplish. What I want to do is share with you a process that we've been using here at our company for about 3 years now. And for about 12 years, I've been trying to figure out a good goal setting system for the whole company that really gets buy-in from everybody, but also gets everybody working towards whatever it is that we're trying to achieve for that year. I've bombed out several times. This system I love. It's worked very, very well for the last few years. So I want to share a little bit about that process and then a couple of key takeaways so that if you do try this, that it will go well for you. So the first thing that we do is we start with our company WIG, or wildly important goal. And so this is actually one of the most important pieces, is spending quite a bit of time figuring out what this goal is and why is that the one thing. Because you're always going to have multiple goals, you'll have sub goals, you'll have lots of things that you end up achieving, but this is the thing that you want to make sure you absolutely achieve, and that's the thing, that's your North Star, that's what you're shooting for. So, a lot of people jump to revenue, sometimes it's profitability, sometimes it's certain number of projects that maybe you want to land, maybe it's a certain number of projects over a certain dollar amount, maybe it's average project size. Like, there's lots of things that you could look at. And so at the end of the day, what you want to do is pick something that if you get that and you miss a few other things, you're still happy, you're still good, because you're going to get, as you'll see, you're going to get everybody working towards this one thing. All right, so let's look at a quick example of how you can jump sometimes a little bit too quickly to what you think is the right WIG. And then as you kind of break it down, you realize, oh, maybe that shouldn't be the WIG. And really the one that comes to mind is revenue. So a lot of times when I'm talking to remodelers, talking to builders, they want to go from 2.5 to 3.5 million. That's the goal. But I've talked to a lot of companies last year that are 3 million, 5 million, and they're breaking even. There's zero profit, or maybe they're losing money. And so if you set your target as just revenue, just know that everybody's going to be working towards revenue, but maybe you've forgotten about some of those critical pieces. So I'm not saying don't pick revenue. I'm just saying you need to really think about what that wildly important goal is, because then you're going to get everybody working behind it. So with that being said, once you've selected your WIG, your wildly important goal, then everybody's going to develop what we call lead and lag measures. So lag measures are things that happen after the fact. So that might be 30 leads a month generated, and that's the lag measure. You're going, okay, if we get 30 leads a month, that should help us towards our wildly important goal. If you're using revenue or number of projects or whatever it is, then that's a good lag that should roll up to the WIG. But then what are those lead measures? And those are the leading indicators. Those are the things that you're going to be doing on a daily or weekly basis that will get you to 30 leads generated every single month. So that might be writing a certain number of blog posts, sending X number of emails, doing something on social media. Like, those are going to be some of those tactical things. And those become your quote unquote strategic bets. You're saying, hey, if I do A and B this week, that should help me generate enough leads to get me to my 30 every single month. And if I do that, then the 30 should lead us to our wildly important goal, whatever that is that you selected. So that would be a good example of a marketing lead measure, lag measure. Sales will have lead and lag measures. Production will have lead and lag measures. Office personnel, whether it's accounting or office manager, something like that, they should have lead and lag measures. All of the lead and lag measures need to be driving towards the wildly important goal. And so that's why it's really important that you pick a wildly important goal that is, one, really clear, but two, that everybody can impact. They can have an influence on it, so that you don't get there and you're going, oh, okay, well, we just picked this wig and only sales and marketing can impact that. So everybody else is kind of like, how does mine impact that? So you want to make sure you pick something that everybody can influence and drive towards. And then one thing that we are doing this year that's a little bit different than years prior, we're always trying to optimize this system, is every single role has the same lag measure. So if you have somebody in production, maybe they all have the same lag, and then maybe you have marketing and sales, and they have the same lag, and then you have office, and they have the same lag, and then they have the flexibility to figure out what their lead measures should be. What are my 1 or 2 things I'm doing this week that will get me to that lag? The reason we're doing that is last year, everybody in a same role, maybe had 5 people in one type of role, they all had different lags. We felt like we didn't have enough momentum behind that. So we want to say, okay, everyone's going to have the same lag within a specific role, but then they're going to maybe do different things to get to that. And so that's just a little piece of advice that I would throw out there, is just something that we've learned doing this a few years now in trying to just optimize how we build this system. So at the end of the day, I feel like for this to be really successful for you, have a really clear, wildly important goal, and then each role type has the same lag, and those lags can be determined as a group, or you could have leadership kind of figure out what the lags are and then talk about it with those roles and make sure that, hey, you're not missing something, or those seem like good lag measures that will roll up to the WIG. And then week to week, everybody picks their lead measures that are going to work towards those. And so those are just the daily, weekly actions. So you know, hey, every week, everybody in the company is doing 1 or 2 things to push us towards that wildly important goal. And that becomes a really powerful force of momentum. And the way we do this too, just cadence-wise, is every week we have a team meeting where you update your lead measures and your lag measures. So you say, hey, this is my lag. These are the 2 things I'm doing this week for my lead measures. And last week, these were the 2 things, and yes, I did them, or I did 1 out of 2, or whatever the result was. And then you tally that and you score it. So you can see, okay, we're doing 90% of our lead measures as a team. You know, if we're not on track to hit our goal, maybe it's because we need to be at 100% of our lead measures, or maybe we picked the wrong lead measures and we need to reconsider that. And so that's how you can start to adjust over time, as you're looking at those lead measures or your strategic bets, like, I think these are the right activities to do, and then you're measuring against the results. So you can go probably another hour on this topic, and it gets fairly in the weeds, but that's the high level, wildly important goal, lag measures for everybody, daily, weekly lead measures, things that they're doing to go towards those, and then check in and track how many things did you actually do from a lead measure standpoint, and then where are you in relation to the wildly important goal. And so it should be very visible to everybody, and that you can influence it from every role within the company. So hopefully that helps a little bit in terms of thinking about maybe a team holistic process for goal setting, and then actually rowing in the same direction and working towards that goal. Again, if you want to join our community, I highly recommend checking out remodelercommunity.com. And with that, I'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.